Hi guys, good morning. Sorry, just fixing, and then let me share my business pages and then we can get started. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully okay. Let me take a sip of coffee as well. So you're probably noticing that the background's a little different. I'm actually going live from a different place in my apartment, so if you're coming on, say hi, where you're from. Okay. Just sharing to my pages. Sorry guys, 1 second. Thanks for your patience. Okay. Cool. Okay. Sorry, guys. I just wanted to make sure everybody could see it and it's visible. All right, cool. So, just fixing my hair here. Yes, it is freezing in New York City, and for some reason, my landlord does not want to put on the heat today. And I also don't have hot water, so I woke up to no hot water. So I don't know if that was something with the storm or what's going on, but I still have a roof over my head. Things are great. Very grateful for that. Okay, cool. So, today's topic is super interesting, and I don't think I'm going to spend too much time on it. It's all pretty straight to the point, but I think it's a really good topic because I have been talking about us having more control than we actually think we do. So I wanted to break this down and bring it to everybody's attention about the two main controllables in our lives that a lot of people are going to be shocked by it, but hello from Atlanta, listening to and checking emails. Stay warm in New York City. Yes, hi Alyssa. Thanks for joining. Okay, so let me go ahead and introduce myself for everybody that is new. My name is Justine Lezzie. I am an intuitive coach and spiritual mentor. I help people empower their intuition to live a more empowered, a more enlightened life. I help people heal themselves, and help people get spiritually connected. And I do all of this for the main reason of helping people create emotional freedom, because that is something that is super, super important to me. And I'm also an empath, somebody that absorbs energy very deeply. I am empathic supporter, so if you suspect that you might be an empath, some of my lives are about it. Just message me. We can kind of chat about it, right? Because we actually process things a lot differently than a lot of people. So it could be really difficult sometimes to live in this world, but I'm here for you. I get it. So just message me with that. So, all right, so let's get right into the live. So, okay, so, in previous lives and kind of, for me, I'm a very spiritual person, and there are tons of spiritual laws that I, follow. And, I truly believe that, and this is, I guess, not even really a spiritual law, but when it comes down to spirituality principles, I guess, the main thing is that we are the creators of our lives, because the universe is the ultimate creator, and then it's also known that the universe is in us, and that's how we are the creators. So that's what I believe as far as power goes, right? And that's why I really believe that we are the most powerful beings, because we have the universe inside of us at all times, creating, right? So we can create anything we want. We can create healing, right? And that's like the number one thing that I think is so amazing for us. But there's also a couple other things that a lot of people think that they don't have control over. Sorry, just making sure my sound is off here. But we actually do have control over, and that's the amazing thing. And there's a ton of things that we can go over, but I wanted to go over these two things because I hear it a lot, and I just want to make it aware, that we actually do have control over these two things, and I'll kind of explain and go into it a little bit of why I believe that that's true. So the first thing that we can control that a lot of people don't think that we can is time. So when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, we all have the same amount of time in a day, right? We all have the same 24 hours. There are people that accomplish way more, it seems like, than the average person, but they don't have time on their side. They don't have more time than another person. And it's really just, at the end of the day, an excuse when we say that we don't, not enough time in the world for the things that we want to do. That's just a limiting belief created by the ego, guys. I hate to tell you this, but if we allocate our time in the correct way, we can achieve the things that we want to achieve. It's not time's fault, right? It's actually the person behind the controlling of the time, which is us. So if you really truly feel like you don't have time to do things, reevaluate, or, do the things that you desire. Reevaluate where you're actually putting your time into. Like, I would actually write down, put it down on paper and write down the words of, I'm sorry, not the words, but your schedule, and see where you can cut things out, maybe scrolling on Instagram or, whatever it is. And I'm not against social media at all, especially, I'm in the digital space, so I need to be on Instagram and Facebook and stuff. So for me, that's not exactly a time sucker for me, right? But sometimes for people it is, right? So I would just be really, really mindful of where you're putting your time, and be under the impression that you can actually have the power to cut down on the things that you don't want to do. And, I know at the end of the day, everybody, I know what you're going to say is that you may need a full-time job or whatever, but there are ways to be efficient with the full-time job as well. So it's really just about, writing down the things that you do every day, where you can create more time, right? Because we can create it, and, kind of stick to it, right? Because, and then here's the other thing too, guys. Here's the other time sucks, right? And I can give you two right now. Number one, waiting. For me, I don't know why I used to think this. I mean, I think I do kind of have an idea, but I used to be waiting for things to happen to me. And I'll tell you guys, this is the first way of not being empowered, right? That is such a powerless move, because we are waiting for these things to happen to us instead of creating the time and the space to actually do it, right? And then the second thing is, hi Julia! And the second thing is procrastination. Talk about a time suck, right? Because, first of all, I must say this, all procrastination is fear, right? And what I really believe is actually fear of lack of clarity, right? Because if we're not clear on what we need to do, we're not going to get it done. So that's actually a very interesting thing that I've come up with myself, that I've realized that has been stopping me in my life. But fear kills. Yes, it does, Mark. Yes, it does. Definitely does. But those are definitely time suckers, right? So be very aware of where you procrastinate, where you're waiting on. I use Tackle to hold my time accountable for what needs to be done each day. Seeing the clock run while I'm working motivates me to stay focused. Yes, me too. I love that app. Oh my God, Alyssa, I love it. Yes, I just started using it, and it really is making me very conscious of where I put my time during the day. So I absolutely love it. And that's the other thing. Thanks for bringing that up. Use the tools that are available to you, right? To kind of figure out where the time is going, where can you create more time, that type of thing. So first of all, I would just, write down, a typical day, or maybe, if you want to start today, how is your day going to go today? And see where you can fit in the time of that thing that you wanted to do. Even if it's, guys, create space and time for fun. That is something that I have trouble with, right? Actually block out time for fun or entertainment of some kind. It's important, right? And because I make that excuse. I don't have time to have fun. I don't have time for a movie. I definitely do have time, right? That's me sitting there in victim mode, right? This is the whole thing that we're talking about. I actually can control that. So it's really, really important for everybody to be mindful of that. Okay? So the fact that people say, I don't have enough time, I don't have time to do this, is just a limiting belief on their part, right? Just created by the ego, a limiting belief. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody. So the second thing I want to get to, so the second controllable that a lot of people don't think that they have control over, but you have so much control, it's insane. The second thing is energy. Guys, oh my God, you are in control of your energy. Now, I spoke about empaths in the beginning of this live. I never understood, as an empath, somebody that feels energy very, very deeply, like a sponge almost. That's a really, really good analogy, almost like a sponge. I had no idea. I actually had control over the fact that I can control what comes into my space with my energetic space, right? So I never knew. I just thought that I had to accept myself this way for the rest of my life until I found really great spiritual teachers, psychologists, people really understanding the trait and being able to teach with tools, because you do have tools at your expense. And that's the great thing for empaths. And I can actually get into another live about this, specifically for empaths, but really I'm talking generally now about energy. So we're all made of it, guys, right? Everything is energy. Your energy, like the words you speak are energy, the things around you are energy, which is why we sage our places and clear it out. Check out Marisha's Boundaries email. It's helpful. Okay, cool. I'll check that out. Thanks. You guys are the best. Thanks for commenting. Okay, cool. So, being around, so what are the energy suckers, right? We talked about the time suckers, but the energy suckers are what I like to call energy vampires, right? They're the negativity. They're the narcissists, the ones that need validation from other people. They need your energy to survive. They need that as a survival mechanism. What else? People that are negative, negative situations, just that type of thing. Anything that is bad vibes will definitely lower your energetic vibration. And here's the thing. I get it, guys. And I think a lot of people are like very confused because they say, you know, this happens to me. Like, you can't there are things that you can't control. You're right. There are things that happen that, you know, like somebody could get sick, or you have to, you know, you have a job where you have to deal with a coworker that, you know, is maybe not exactly the most positive, or whatever the situation is. But it's how you deal with it. That's the control part. It's how we actually rebound from the situation, and not even real rebound, but it's more of like how we deal with and protect and shield ourselves from that energy, because we do have a choice with that, right? We definitely do. And I definitely, removing yourself from the situation is definitely a way to do it, but there's also other tools where, you know, you can not take things personally, for example, what could help with the annoying and very draining coworker, right? Don't take things personally, or, you know, just for me, if you want to get really spiritual, I really like my crystals. They protect me energetically. That really, really help. Obviously, if you are an empath, I would recommend them. Like, they changed my whole world. It's very near and dear to me. But, you know, there are tons of things that you can actually do. Like, you just have to be mindful and conscious of all of the options that you have. So, if, you know, you have a friend that, you know, you're finding out is like using you all the time, and, you know, they're not really a good friend, you actually have the power to allow them to, you know, you have the power to take away their source of energy, which is you, right? So you actually have a choice of whether you could be around them or not. And that's the choice, right? And that's actually the hard thing, and that's where detachment comes in, right? So I'll do a live about that too. But, you know, detaching from, you know, a loved one that maybe, you know, is an actual energy vampire, and you're kind of figuring it out now, because I've been there as well. So, so yeah, it's not easy, right? Like, these controllables are not easy. I never said that they were easy, but they are something that you can create. And, you know, I spoke earlier about why I do the things I do. It's for emotional freedom, right? Because I want you, and everybody has the power to be emotionally free. We have the power to create, and I know I keep saying that word, but we are the creators, guys. We actually design our reality, right? We're given things, but we actually get to design it, and we get to live it the way we want to live, despite the circumstances that are not controllable, right? So basically, we can create the life that we want with even just those two things, time and energy, right? Because making sure that you are in tip-top, wow, emotional freedom, coined that, yes. Even if I love that. Yes, emotional freedom is like so important to me. I've been in like a prison like my whole life, but until all of this. So, and I don't want you guys to be in a prison. That's the point, guys. I want you guys to be free. Freedom is not overrated. Freedom is something that is super, super important. And at the end of the day, anybody can achieve it, no matter what has happened to you. The most horrendous things, we have the power to create the reality that we want to create. It's not going to happen overnight, by the way, guys. That's another thing I want to throw in there. It's not going to happen immediately. It's going to happen on the timeline it's supposed to be happening. So please, don't forget that extra special ingredient of self-compassion. Nothing will happen. Nothing good will come out of you beating yourself up, having guilt, shame, all of those things in the negative scale. Nothing is going to happen. Like, it's not going to, it doesn't do anything productive in the right direction, right? Is being, beating yourself up about it. But just, I wanted to do this live because I think the most important thing, especially right now in this world, is consciousness. Be conscious that you actually have the power to create the life that you want with just these two variables, right? So that is super, super important. That's why I wanted to get on live today and thought this was a really important topic. And yeah, hopefully this helped. And if you guys have any questions, just drop them in the comments or message me, whichever. And I will definitely answer it. I always get back to everybody. But it was so great being on this live. I absolutely love getting on here and talking about these types of things. And today's Thursday, right? Okay, so I will be on next week sometime, and I'm looking forward to it, and I'll see you then. Bye, guys.